In a heteronormative world, sexual orientation is generally straight or gay. Bisexual is another sexual identity or orientation. The way that we experience and express our desires, our feelings, our fantasies, our emotions, our connections with others. So sexual orientation is really about who and what we were attracted to in the world around us. We're born in these bodies, which we refer to as your sex. It's either male or female, but that's not even true. It's not binary. There's a lot of different bodies and they develop differently. So there's intersex bodies, which are more ambiguous. They have both male and female specific parts, but in many cases you have like a male specific and a female specific body. That's sex, you're male or female. Where gender identity is different because it really has less to do with your body and your genitals, and it's more about who you are and how you express yourself in the world. Gender expression is how you wear your gender identity, how you want others to see you. So there's things that you can do or manipulate, things you can say, or ways that you can act in order for people to read you as one gender or another, or somewhere within that spectrum. Transgender is really complicated, and I think in some ways trans individuals are often seen in the media right now as either born with a body that is not in line with their current gender identity. So for example, I may be born with a male specific body, but I don't necessarily feel very male or man, and is the way that society defines it. So if I don't identify with or connect with the body that I have, then I'm somewhere on that trans spectrum. In a lot of cases, people that are born in bodies that they don't really connect with, they will often transition into a different gender identity. But I also want to refrain from the assumption that everyone who's trans wants to transition into the opposite gender, because some people that are trans are still embracing that spectrum and don't necessarily want to transition into being a female or a woman in society, or transition into being a man in society. They just want to be themselves and be authentic. Pronouns are the ways that we refer to like men and women in our society. So for example, I prefer masculine pronouns, which is he and him. Sometimes femme people prefer she and her. And then we also like to use gender neutral pronouns like them and they. So if you're talking about someone and you don't know what their pronoun is, then maybe you can just refer to them or they as you're having that conversation, as a way to respect them. And instead of putting your own assumptions onto their gender, allowing them the opportunity to kind of be themselves. But you can also just introduce yourself by saying, hey, I'm Joshua, I prefer masculine pronouns, him, he, what's your name and what are your pronouns? And that's a really respectful way of soliciting that information if you really need to know. Again, I go back to the default, which is in most cases, you just ask someone what their name is and then call them by their name, and that's what they would appreciate the most.